Hello, greetings. This is me, Zahra Jawad Sajwani. Zahra Laila Jawad on Facebook. So, after having explained some things that a verse like Surah Nur, verse 33, how the religious scholars, my Shia religious scholars, will be questioning me and how I will answer them. Another thing is this verse that came to my attention in Surah Nur, unsuspecting women you should not. So meaning we were told to stay away from boys, men, segregate. And it is not even the people from like the Ahl Kitab, not our enemies, but a group from amongst yourself, hypocrites. So it shows, we were told that there are hypocrites, believing men and believing women. You can read the ayat in Surah Nur. There are still here, these Muslims, some of them, doing this. Like I went to, afterwards, Amina Sardar's live chats, live streams on YouTube. I checked 11, 12 hours there. I couldn't even listen to it for 2 hours or more. So there's one particular live stream she's done. And other Muslim, ex-Muslim, streams I've checked for information and all this. Let's see where we get. So with this verse that we, Allah has now blamed it on the Muslim, believing men and women. Surah Nur, going to Surah Nur. I'm not prepared for this. So just briefly, or maybe to some extent in detail, explaining where we went wrong. But Rasulullah, he can make an unintentional mistake and force Zainab bin Josh to get married to Zaid. I mean, do you see? No, I have to show you and myself. Not in silence now. In silence you can see, but in words, explain to you. Surah Nur. So this just caught my attention. Believing women and believing men. I should never do this. No. Cannot do this. Accuse it. Here it is, Surah Nur 24, number 24, ayat 4. Ayat 4. Those who accuse chaste women of adultery, in brackets, and fail to produce 4 witnesses, give them 8. No. Where is it now? The slender part. Sorry, this was a mistake. I apologize. If only the believing men and women had thought well of one another. Even the believing, are they hypocrites? Can you call them believe? Why not? When you heard it, think the believing men, yes, and the believing women, mu'minat and mu'minat, think good of themselves and say, this is a lie, clear. Do you see there's another ayat I cannot find exactly where it is in the Quran, that believers know, they know what is going on, or they just have this knowledge from God. Why did they not produce 4 witnesses? Now, since they have failed to produce witnesses, they are truly liars in the sight of Allah. So before they were not told to produce, whenever if something like this happens, you suspect a woman, you are to, in such circumstances, produce 4 witnesses, or else keep your mouth shut. And then in another verse we are told those believers who mix evil with good, Allah can forgive them if they make amends. But we in this society put stamps on divorcees and women who are working with men or who wear lipstick, our fathers, our whoever, uncles. My mother wasn't wearing abaya. Long time ago she was wearing the, what do you call that, the Pakistani black jacket and veil, complete veil, face covering. It was a long time ago. The hijab or whatever covering in Pakistani. Like the Afghanistanis have a different way of veiling themselves. They have these on the face, the holes, little holes. My mother used to do that too long time ago, but the Pakistani style hijab, face covering with the chiffon type, chiffon type black on the front of her face. For some time she did it, then I don't know what happened. I was very small, I don't know. She then took it off. So now here we have these believers at the time of Prophet Muhammad. This is outrageous. Really, even Allah will forgive, but I felt some believers will not forgive me. So suspect you. And how about, no, but we can't suspect Prophet Muhammad. He is a prophet. So there is a hadith in the Sunni sources that Rasulullah went to Zaid's house and then got all this thing. But they say, no, this is hadith is zaif because of the chain of, let's see, narrators and God knows what. Yeah. But remember now it is, I'll be slow, sorry. I'm sorry. Surah Nur ayat, believing men. And then the Sunnis say it is the Shias. And the Shias say, no, we are not the ones who accuse those who accuse chaste women. Okay. So, let's see. Where is it? No, of slender, accusing, falsely accusing, slandering, God knows what is going on. So, see, we have such a society. Who has brought about this? In Rasulullah's time, it was happening amongst the believers. They were set aright. Surely those who accuse chaste, unsuspecting, believing women are cursed in this life and the hereafter, and they will suffer a tremendous punishment. So something has happened to the believing women or a child. My mother got married at 13. I started to wear makeup at 14, 13 with my older friend and my aunt being there as a supervisor. Thank God my aunt was there, Gaur. Otherwise these beasts in Karachi could have God knows what done to me. So how do you judge? Even the Quran asks you, how do you judge? You judge the Prophet differently, your Allah, and who was my Allah? If we are even talking to a man, that would be like, yeah, stay away from men, don't talk to men, and stay away from bad company. It inevitably has bad effect on you. Stay away from abuse and all this, and I don't like abuse, but I like the company of men because they are better. And in sports, I can play because I had the energy. When I had the energy of men. Oh God. So back to. Shall I just finish this one? Surah 24, verse 33. You see, Allah has, like Salah is allowed. No, Salah is compulsory. Prayers are compulsory and very good, mentioning many things about prayers. But when God mentions here prostitution, why does He not say that it is haram? Put it there. Do not force your slave girls into prostitution for your worldly gains, because prostitution is haram. Have a have a look at this, please. Look at this seriously. It's about slave girls. And our ulamas unanimously agree that Muslim ulamas that prostitution is haram, even of concubines, prostitution, but it doesn't say here. So they have to rely on the Quranic ayats where it says keep chaste and all this indirect fornication, keep away from fornication and adultery. So much has been, on one hand, so much importance, that so many punishments for being unchaste. Why? Why didn't God here in this ayat say clearly, when you have to be so careful, when you should be careful, there are other parts where God is very careful and being chaste. It's haram. It's haram to fornicate. It's forbidden, haram to be to go into adultery while you're married. Adultery is when you're married. So if only you had said upon hearing it, how can we speak about such a thing? Oh, this is on, I'll come to this verse. Glory be to you, O Lord. This is a heinous slander. No, this is, and this is, so God has revealed this verse against some believers of our own group, Muslim group, of Prophet Muhammad's time. At the time of Prophet Muhammad, why did they not produce 4 witnesses? If only the believing men and women had thought well of one another when you heard this rumor and said, this is clearly and outrageous slender. This is an obvious falsehood. What do you edit? So I have to read the verse afterwards. Verse 14 in Surah 24. Had it not been for Allah's grace and mercy upon you in this world and the hereafter, oh, the believers are saying, and you would have certainly, I'm so confused. So let me go to something that I'm not very confused about. Oh, the Surah Nur has started with verse 12. Oh, I asked for okay, now it's 200 lashes. Okay, as for let me see what is here. This is a surah which we have revealed and made its rulings obligatory and revealed in it clear commandments so that you may be mindful. Clear evidence that you might remember. Obligatory and revealed therein verses of clear evidence. As for female and male fornicators, give each of them 100 lashes. These are the single, not married, and do not let pity for them make you lenient in enforcing the law of Allah. If you truly believe in Allah and the last day, and let a number of believers witness their punishment. Verse 3, a male fornicator would only marry a female fornicator or adulteress, idolatress, sorry, not adulteress, sorry, or what fornicator is, or idol worshipper. Oh, sorry, Sunnis cannot marry Shias who think they are polytheists, right? That's why. Here's the problem. All these problems coming from this religion. And now I have to take D3. Right. My God. Do you see a male fornicator would only marry a female fornicator or idolatress? Not adulteress, polytheist. And a female fornicator would only be married to a fornicator or idolater. This is all forbidden to the believers. Those who accuse chaste women of adultery and fail to produce 4 witnesses, give them 80 lashes each. This is adultery, not rape. And do not ever accept any testimony from them. Okay, so one thing is that this is not about rape. If some woman comes and tells you, or those who accuse chaste women of adultery and fail to produce 4 witnesses, give them 80 lashes each, and do not ever accept any testimony from them, for they are indeed the rebellious. Except those who repent afterwards and mend their ways, then surely Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. Verse 5. Verse 6, and those who accuse their wives of adultery. This is about married women and men. And those who accuse their wives of adultery but have no witness except themselves. The accuser must testify. So here we don't need 4 witnesses. See, here it has changed about wife and husband. Now the husband has seen his wife, accused, because he's the only witness, right? But have no witness except themselves. This means the husband has seen his wife in adultery. The accuser must testify, allegedly seen, is saying that they have seen. So swearing 4 times by Allah, 4 witnesses are not required here. Swearing 4 times by Allah that he is telling the truth. Verse 7. And a 5th oath that Allah may condemn him if he is lying. Allah, the curse, Sahih International Translation, and the 5th oath will be that the curse of Allah be upon him if he should be of the liars. 8. For her to be spared the punishment, for her to be spared the punishment, let them swear. For her to be spared the punishment, she must swear 4 times by Allah that he is telling a lie. 9, verse 9. And a 5th oath that Allah may be displeased with her if he is telling the truth. 10. You would have suffered had it not been for Allah's grace and mercy upon you, and had Allah not been accepting of repentance. Allah's see, so only the curses are, oaths are taken and curses are given, always. 11 verse. Indeed, those who came upon with that outrageous slender are a group of you. Who? Do not think that this is bad for you. Rather, it is good for you. They will be punished, and each according to the share of the sin. As for their mastermind, he will suffer a tremendous punishment. If only the believing men and women had thought well of one another when you heard this rumor and said, this is clearly an outrageous slander. But no, the believers did not say this. 13, verse 13. Why did they not produce 4 witnesses? Now, since they have failed to produce witnesses, they are truly liars in the sight of Allah. This is what we Muslims have been doing, haven't we? Some of us with these ex-Muslims. I've seen against Amina Sardar, against me, against so many other ex-Muslim ladies. God knows, but I've seen clearly with Amina Sardar and myself, I've experienced. When you passed it from one tongue to the other and said with your mouths what you had no knowledge of, taking it lightly, while it is extremely serious in the sight of Allah. Verse 15 I read, going to verse 16. If only you had said upon hearing it, how can we speak about such a thing? If only you had said in.
وَلَوْلَا.
And why not?
وَلَوْلَا.
When?
إِذْ.
In. No.
وَلَوْلَا. إِذْ.
In? No, this is half. Okay. In. When you heard it.
سَمِعْتُمُوهُ.
You said.
قُلْتُمْ.
It is
يَكُونُ.
not.
مَا. يَكُونُ.
And why, when you heard it, did you not say, it is not for us to speak of this? Let us keep away from such great slander. Okay, I just added my words. Exalted are you, O Allah, in brackets, O Allah in brackets, close brackets. This is a great slender. See what you Muslims have done during the life of Prophet Muhammad. Some of you. Allah forbids you, you still do it. Allah forbids you from ever doing something like this again. If you are true believers. But some of you don't listen. You go after ex-Muslims, you go after, God knows, oh believers, do not follow the footsteps of Satan, immorality and wickedness. Allah forbids. Okay, here we are, here. No, wait a minute, let me read the previous verse. You would have suffered had it not been for Allah's grace and mercy upon you. I think I've read that. No, and yeah. And had Allah not been ever gracious, most merciful. Verse 21 now. O believers, do not follow the footsteps of Satan. Whoever follows Satan's footsteps, then let them know that he surely bids all to immorality and wickedness. Had it not been for Allah's grace and mercy upon you, none of you would have ever been purified. But Allah purifies whoever He wills, and Allah is hearing, all knowing. What is this? Immorality.
بالفحشاء
Il-fahshai and evil.
والمنكر
Wal-munkari. Wal-munkari. What is munkar? Is it that, what's it? Isn't there a munkar, which is the angel
ولولا
who comes after?
والمنكر
And isn't he on my right side or left? The munkar, not, and munkari. That's munkari. Munkar. No, listen, don't do this, slap yourself. Slap your mouth. No, what is this going on? Someone tell me. I'm going insane. No, I cannot read this. Do you see what's happening to me? Surely those who accuse and let know. So the prostitute word is. No, I still believe that whatever my religious Shia scholars are going to give me, I have. Tell me there is an ayat which says that prostitution is haram. Prostitution is not being chaste. So how are we judging? Excuse me for being like this, cracking up and all. Sorry, I'm really, as long as I don't die as a false believer, how do we judge? And tell the believing women to lower their gaze and guard their chastity and not to reveal their adornments. Allah, so there came a time when now the law has come to do this. But before that, in Sunni sources, we are told that Rasulullah, what happened? Why did Rasulullah marry Zainab bin Josh? Because Zaid bin what's his name? Wanted to divorce her. Why? Zaid's name is mentioned. Why? Okay, if you have mental gymnastics here, and now you want your hadith and all this, Zahra. So what we will do, and my religious scholars, with due respect, but please understand that I'm cracking up here. So please forgive me. Surah Ahzab. No, he just made a mistake. You see, it will take a lot of mental gymnastics with my Shia religious scholars, with due respect. But here, if we see this one, it will not take much mental gymnastics. So I'm going to take the easy way out, because I don't want to waste my time in Shia Islam, being on the borderline, going back and forth and back and leaving and coming back and leaving. And where does it say that Rasulullah made a mistake here? Prophet Muhammad made a mistake here. Remember when the hypocrites, oh God, Allah. And remember when a group of them said, oh people of Yathrib, there's no point in you staying. They had already pledged to Allah earlier never to turn their backs and retreat. Say your Prophet, no, when you made a mistake, is it Surah 5? How could I? When I surely have made many mistakes, can't even count, countless mistakes, but Prophet Muhammad made one mistake, here we are told. When he made Zaid when he practiced this pagan law of adoption, giving him his name, his adopted son. Let your adopted children keep their family names. That is more just in the sight of Allah. But if you do not know their fathers, then they are simply your fellow believers and close associates. There is no blame on you for what you do by mistake. But now see, okay, it has not mentioned that Prophet Muhammad has made a mistake. But if you read all the verses, then this person who did a favor, the Prophet has a stronger affinity, whoever this Prophet is here, to the believers than it's talking about Prophet Muhammad, who took Zaid as his. First time a Sahaba's name is mentioned clearly in the Quran. So we need to find the Zaid, and we need to see what it is in Islamic history, and rely upon Allah. And sufficient is Allah as disposer of affairs. So who are you to dispose anyone's affairs? On one hand you say that, okay, I can understand the Shias disposing the affairs, like Imam Ali. Their religious scholars are marjas, God knows. And those Sunnis also, who say that Rasulullah is a wasila and Sahabas are the caliphs. They can do that. But those who say Allah, only the Quran is enough, they cannot dispose of our affairs and be leaders and lead us. Us, a very open, loose word I'm using. Their groups. Or tell us Shias or the Sunni others what to do and what not to do. O believers, remember Allah's favor upon you when enemy forces came to besiege you in Medina, so we sent them against them a bitter wind, forces you could not see. And when your hearts reached to your throats, remember when they came at you from east and west, and when your eyes grew wild in horror and your hearts jumped into your throats. This really happened to me in my madness, and you entertained conflicting thoughts about Allah. Then and there were the believers then and there the believers were put to the test and were violently shaken. Oh, I've experienced this in my own life, my own way. And remember when the hypocrites and those who with sickness in their hearts said, Allah and His Messenger have promised us nothing but delusion. His Messenger, okay, so who is His Messenger? Who is His Messenger? Here, who takes a Z? Please look at this ayat. And you want to show kindness to your close associates through bequest. And remember when we took a covenant, all of them, so that you may question these men of truth about the delivery of the truth. And He has prepared a painful punishment for the disbelievers. O believers, remember Allah's favor upon you. No, wait a minute, where's 30? Sorry, I have to go to verse 37 now. Oh Muhammad, say Muhammad, never will fleeing benefit you if you should flee from death. It is not, O Muhammad, it is say, O Prophet, or what is this? Nabi? Say. No. Here it doesn't say. It just says say. Never will benefit you the fleeing if you flee from death or killing, and then you will not be allowed except a little. Ask then. Oh God. Okay, here who made this mistake? The Shias. I'm talking about the Shias. Shia ulemas who will question me on Surah Nur verse 33. Who made the mistake? Rasulullah did, right? We all know. I mean, we Shias, we know that Rasulullah made the mistake. Surah 4 or 5. Again, Allah does not place two hearts in any person's chest, nor does He regard your wives as unlawful for you like your real mothers, even if you say they are. Nor does He regard your adopted children as your real children. Now you see, Allah is appealing to the women. Wives, these pagans had wives when they wanted to let them go, divorce them, or separate from them. They used to say, you are our mothers and all this. These dirty pagans. See, such hatred for the pagans. Allah Azim, today I will stand up for justice. But not like Imam Hussein, no. I will not give. How will you see that I have given an ounce of what I have sacrificed? Okay, I'm going funny, losing my mind.